Okay. Got more Amstrad Action. Still. We're back to going to issue 44 now. May 1989. It's still £1.25. Anyway. Probably a more reasonable number of reviews in this issue. I think that's about 9-ish, I think, again. So, yeah. So we'll say play Space Invaders with birthday candles because it's the CBC's 5th birthday. Machine's creators reveal their secrets. Rename our desert island discs and joysticks are definitive guide. The CBC 5th birthday special issue. All these compilations. The power packs. The in-crowd. Taito coin-op hits. Game Center Match 2. I've looked at all these already, but whatever. Yeah. Here's our lineup. Amscene bursting at the seams with CBC news, stories, and info. Reaction. You don't have to sit and suffer in silence. Get it off your chest and into our very own pages. Serious side. The first 5 years celebrate the 5th birthday of the CBC with us. There's an in-depth report on the remarkable story of how it came into existence. We speak to the men who were there and who the full story for the first time. Yeah, that's what this is. Action Test Special. 28 joysticks. And what may be the biggest joystick jury ever. Trent sorts them out and comes up with the winners. And we've got HKM. Woo! He's the meanest son of a snake you've ever seen. A CPC collection, a furiously controversial and bigoted selection of CPC software, both serious and otherwise. Action Test begins on page 28. Dave Rogers talks about his life as a games music programmer. All this, Human Killing Machine, Question of Sport, Barbarian II, Pac-Land, Jinx, Blasteroids, Gary Lineker's Hot Shots, SDI, plus a great Operation Hormuz competition. Here's Barbarian II, at last, but has it been worth the wait? It's got a Master Game logo on it, it's probably yes. SDI, this space ain't big enough for the both of us. Cue sound effects, a fascinating insight into the world of a professional music programmer. 5 more years? I will say there will be 5 more years of this magazine. At least. It's actually 6 more years of the magazines. What were you doing 5 years ago? Hard though it is to believe it, in April 1984, Alan Sugar, who had just won the Guardian Young Businessman of the Year, was taking a small company called Amstrad to the very risky home computer business with something called the CPC 464. The fascinating story of how a machine called Arnold was born is told in this 5th birthday special issue. And now, 5 years and 2 million machines later, how's it doing? Well, contrary to what you might expect, and contrary to what some sections of the computer press keep insisting, very well indeed. Thank you very much. New products, see Amscene. New games, see Action Test. And sales figures that keep on surprising everyone. The CBC's never had it so good. Well, we've got a new feature. Broadly speaking, Emma Broadley begins her new outspoken column. Yeah, we'll probably have a look at that, obviously. Probably because they start sticking her into Sugarman comics. So... Amscene releases, updates, previews, new releases, updates, previews, new releases. Okay. Stop Press database comes to the rescue. Database software have purchased rights to the AMS range, including the highly rated Stop Press and Extra Extra. According to Chris Payne, marketing manager for Database, who already market the ever popular Mini Office 2, the move represents a vote of confidence in the CPC. Some companies have ended their love affair with the Amstrad. You can say that again, Chris. Some companies have ended their love affair with the Amstrad, he said obligingly, but we certainly have not. These are excellent products and will perfectly complement our range. Database may have been encouraged by the success of the educational package Fun School 2, which surprised everyone when it made an appearance in the software charts. Art in the right place. The excellent products involved are 3 desktop publishing packages, AMX Stop Press £49.99, Stop Press and Mouse £79.99, and Extra Extra £24.99. 1 graphics and art package, Art and Mouse £69.99, and 1 desktop environment and utility, Max £19.99. 1 product has died, AMX 3D Zycon, a 3D modelling program. Nick Pearson of AMS admitted to AA that it wasn't as strong selling as either the mice or Stop Press, and production has now ceased. Database have confirmed that they have no plans for the title. Growing trend. AMS's other company, Logitech, sounds familiar, who incidentally claim to be the world's largest manufacturer of computer mice, are moving up market into the PC world, where software can cost in the hundreds of pounds and no one wonders why, and are clearly pleased to be rid of their AMS range. What has been avoided in this instance, however, is the complete abandonment of product, for Database evidently see potential in the range. They have secured exclusive manufacturing rights, meaning that they can produce more copies of a program if it sells well. Mike Kelly, Database's PR man, has hopes for the future of the AMS range. We're not going to increase the prices, he said, and we're going to repackage Max so that it makes a stronger impression. This transfer of rights to programs looks to be a growing trend. In the games field, it has happened since the dawn of time, of course, with licenses to full-price games being brought up by budget or compilation specialists. But it is beginning to happen more often with serious software too. In AA42, we revealed that EEC had bought the rights from Rainbird to the Advanced Art Studio range, and there are moves afoot for persons unknown to do the same for the Advanced Music System. There's obvious commercial advantage in this approach, for as companies move into different markets, others can move to absorb unsold stock and even revitalise product that has grown stale. Stop pressing extra extra, live to fight another day. Now it's Amstrad, lights, camera, action. A new video software magazine has been launched, giving games players the opportunity to see all the new games releases without having to buy them. Action Screenplay is to be published by Hotshot every other month in VHS format at £6.49 and combines many special audio-visual effects, creating a mini-movie lasting between half and 3/4 of an hour. It will feature a presenter who will introduce each individual game category and commentate while each game runs on the screen. The magazine is the brainchild of Hotshot Supremo John Beals, who told AA, "There's something I've been waiting for, but which has taken so long in coming, I had to go out and do it myself." Film fans can watch Film 89, he went on, but what do we computer games players do to find out just how good a game is? AA is just the best mag around for CPC reviews, but even then you can't actually see a game in action. Now with Action Screenplay, you can. He only said that bit about AA because he knew we'd make it up if he didn't. The first issue, available from all good software retailers in the UK, is out on April 28th. For more details, Hotshot's boss John Beals shows off issue 1 of Action Screenplay out now. The only way is up. Figures released by the Audit Bureau of Circulation show Amstrad Action's readership continues to increase. In the 6 months, July to December 1988, the latest period for which the statistics are available, average monthly sales climbed from 35,095 to 38,457, a rise of about 9.5%. AA's publisher, Greg Ingham of Future Publishing, explains the boom. It's quite clear that AA reaches parts other mags don't. Consistently high quality, fierce independence, and a real understanding of what readers want. It's an unbeatable combination. Magnum gets go-ahead to make Amstrad's day. Amstrad and Virgin Mastertronic have announced that a light gun package called the Magnum is to appear soon. Initially it is aimed, if you'll pardon the pun, primarily at games players, though it has great potential in other areas too. Amstrad are to manufacture the gun, which is similar to, but not compatible with, the Sega light gun, under the Amstrad Fidelity label, while Virgin Mastertronic are to market the gun exclusively. 6 games are included with the gun, which is expected to retail at £29.99. 5 have been finished, and Virgin Mastertronic are currently trying to get more written for the device. Melanie Russell, speaking for Amstrad, was happy to confirm the deal, in spite of Amstrad's former record of reticence about products not yet available in the shops. Yes, it's all true, she said, though the only thing that is concrete is the deal itself. Both Amstrad and Virgin Mastertronic have signed on the dotted line, but the Magnum is not yet in production. For Virgin Mastertronic, Leslie Walker was slightly more forthcoming. The deal is now well underway, we've got a working prototype, and have been testing all the games on it. Amstrad are tooling it up to start full-scale manufacture in the coming months. People should be able to buy a Magnum. Beaten to the draw. The news of the Magnum light gun is a shot in the arm, excuse the pun again, for the CPC games market as it moves towards the traditional lazy, hazy dog days of summer. It's not such a cause for celebration though at Electric Studio Limited. It's reported exclusively in AA42, Dave Buckingham had already come up with the idea for a light gun and had in fact produced a working prototype. The mere news of a deal between such big players as Virgin Mastertronic and Amstrad themselves is enough to scupper his plans. Our problem was getting games written for it. Nobody seemed interested, a crestfallen Buckingham told us. The project has now been shelved. It was always going to be a risk, something to try, but not with Amstrad competing against us. All our products are based in the UK, but with Amstrad's Far Eastern production lines and sheer muscle power, we haven't got a cat in hell's chance. Perhaps if we got it out quicker, we might have had a winner, but not now. Nice printer, except for one thing. Management Tally, makers of the MT81 printer, praised in AA43, have announced the MT222, a 24-pin offering, print quality far superior to the average 9-pin printer. At a retail price of £695 excluding VAT, with some retailers selling it at £495, it's medium priced. It has a higher rated speed than most, even allowing for the large dosage of salt necessary for such figures. Its claimed speed of 72 CPS in letter quality mode compares favourably with the 30 characters of the Amstrad LQ3500. The bad news is that for the time being at least, you can't actually buy one. MT UK have put the printer on technical hold, which means that strictly speaking, it's unfit for sale. Peter Pratt of the UK sales team explained that the situation became apparent around about mid-March. About 1 in 20 were unusable. Rather than tarnish our reputation, we decided to contact our parent company in Germany and get a permanent solution worked out. Meanwhile, I'm trying to trace them. We are supplying with MT230s, which have a higher specification. One problem we're having to confront is that people just won't let go of their new MT222s. The trouble, according to MT spokesman Chris Hewitt, is that the UK has higher standards than many countries. It's been selling well into the overseas markets. At least one large retailer appears to have been taken by surprise by the news, having already sent out promotional material advertising the new MT printer. Still, since the company didn't actually have any in stock, it was all rather academic. Far be it from us to wonder why anyone should advertise hardware that's not in stock. MT have moved fast to protect a growing reputation, and as soon as trouble-free samples are available, we shall be rushing you the full review. High Flyer, the lucky winner of the fabulous Microprose Don't Tell the Editor competition back in AA42, is Christina Gibbons of Bargoed in Mid Glamorgan. Christina wins a day out at Microprose HQ in Tetbury to give her all sorts of goodies and things. She also has to take a flight and the Microprose Piper Cherokee, with a very nervous and pale Ed. But then we all have our cross to bear. Hard luck, Christina. Look out for pictures of him trying not to look scared to death soon. Boot up your CPC. As a whole league of soccer sims arrives, those whose ambition is to score against Brazil, or in England's case, against anyone, can live out their dream. Let's kick off with Gary Lineker's Hot Shot, based on the golden booted one's adventures at an international footy tournament. The title has nothing to do with hepatitis injections, which the saint reckons cost a lad a yard of pace, but recreates those glory days when Gazza actually used to score. It's viewed from overhead and includes those all-important sliding tackles among its features. We've played an incomplete version and enjoyed it enormously. Trent won, damn it. A man once known as Crazy Horse, but has more recently earned the nickname Pratt due to his showing off on a question of sport, has also gotten on the Game Licensing Act. Emlyn Hughes International Soccer hits the streets soon, courtesy of Audiogenic. It takes a Matchday 2 approach, A28, 86%, with a view from the stands, as it were. We've seen a demo version of it and it looks realistic, fast and fun. All that's missing are the inflatables and cries of, "I say this ref is a jolly silly fellow, and so say all of us, hurrah!" And there's more. Microprose Soccer by Microprose, and Zeppelin's Kenny Dalglish's Soccer Manager. The Microprose game deals with yet another international tourney, where your choice of team is reflected in the skill level of your players. So if you play as Brazil, your team can curl the ball in the air and dribble with exceptional skill. If you play as Oman, you have only basic abilities. And if you play as England, you're lucky to get your boost laced up by half-time. The Laconic Ones game, however, takes more managerial approach. You pick teams to play the game for you. So next issue, watch out for an in-depth probing report on football and the CPC. Roy of the Rovers says look out for a super duper soccer sim survey in next month's AA. Is it as exciting as the first division, or can you stay awake for minutes at a time? Which is the greatest footy sim ever seen on a green screen? Plus all you could ever want to know about the new soccer signings to the CPC team. Don't miss it, or you could be as sick as a parrot. Crazy Horses International Soccer is featured in next month's roundup. Get your skates on! Electronic Arts don surf punk gear and set the challenge, skate or die. You're about to be taken on courses of training and tests, which include high jumps, acrobatics, and a hair-raising charge down a back alley, to name but a few. The EA people were kind enough to show us an early version, and it's looking good. Though, of course, the really crucial thing is the gameplay, which is not yet complete. You can do it, guys. We know you can. We'll need to know how hot their wheels really are next month. A sneak preview of EA's Skate or Die. Snot in front of the children. What's green, loud, and makes a horrible mess on the carpet? A Gilbert. Well, not just any old Gilbert, but Gilbert from Drill, star of Get Fresh and Gilbert's Fridge. Now, the world's most disgusting TV presenter, even worse than Scylla, is about to splat onto your computer screen. Gilbert, Escape from Drill, features the little darling in his bid to find a way back to Earth for the next series of Get Fresh. Why? His fellow aliens want to stop him, and the only way he can escape is to play 5 arcade games and win. So watch the skies, and for goodness sake, blow your nose. His disgustingness in person enough to turn the strongest stomach. Run the World. Remember Run the Gauntlet? It was a TV show where international teams competed in a series of races using high-powered toys such jet skis and dune buggies, making everyone green, and not just with jealousy. Soon we'll all have a chance to join in the fun with a new game in the offering promotion. R the G is a multiple event game featuring a wide selection of vehicle races on land, water, and occasionally even foot. Fancy such a life of danger? Dip into next AA, available Thursday, 11th of May. For more good news agents, order yours now, where we give it the full treatment. Unbeatable prices, unbeatable service. Wacky, the fanzine. Overseas, £30. Reaction, 3 pages, positively overflowing with reader complaint and comment. Dear readers, it's time for another assault on your correspondence. See, it rips open your latest missives on matters CPC. Remember too, there's a £15 software voucher for one lucky winner every month. So get scribbling or printing. But no essays, please. We really and truly are too busy to reply personally to correspondence. Serious request. Why oh why do your people who deal with subscriptions continue to think that every potential subscriber is a games enthusiast? I can't remember the last time that a non-games player had the slightest incentive to send you a subscription. So how about offering a binder in lieu of a game? Make me that offer and I'll send you a subscription by return. H.N. Gubby, Yorkshire. You'll be glad to hear that we've now rectified this situation. Turn to our mail order pages at the back of this and every issue for full details of the great AA £20 vouchers offer, free with every subscription. We look forward to receiving your details very soon. Is this bloke trying to be funny or what? I enjoy getting your excellent magazine and am full of admiration for the technical quality of the articles. Could you give us some details on how Pat got his knowledge of computers? Like Davis, Mayland. Pat's unbelievable knowledge, well, I never believe a word he says, comes from the Ladybird book of computing, together with something he read in the Sun. Seriously though, Pat's first experience with computers was the good old ZX81, but I never owned one, he insists. He read every single computer mag on the market, and never bought any, and all the books, and took loads of tickies. Went to some computer shows, was on school's computers incessantly, hung around a technical college for 2.5 years, and it was only then he was ready for the Ladybird book. After reading AA1, he burst through the door and demanded a job. Lo and behold, he got one, an AA33. He did, however, write on and off for the mag from AA4. Moral, make a nuisance of yourself. 464, unfairly favoured, claims Mr. Melody of Purley. Not so, we say. Pleasing all the people. Your meg is great, apart from one thing. You seem to favour all 464 users and people with tape decks. For one thing, why do you always have cover cassettes and nothing? But you never have cover discs. Okay, so tapes are cheaper, but if everyone went by your line, we would all own 464s because they are cheaper than 6128s. And why, in your subscription offers, do disc users only get a free game, but tape users get a free game and another goodie? In cheap mode, why are most of the pokes on tape? You may just say, go and buy a tape recorder, but I know from my experience with BBC that tapes always get these nice little messages like rewind tape or bad program, which really put me off. So just for a change, give us a cover disc. Robert Melody, Rest Purley. Love through, Robert, love through, but how many people would pay an extra couple of quid for their copy of AA? The answer, unfortunately, is not enough. In any case, as you'll know if you've seen Amscene recently, getting hold of any 3-inch disc these days is difficult. How hard would it be, do you think, to lay your hands on 50,000? And as you yourself point out, Robert, you should be fair to all readers, both 464 and 664 6128 owners. Disc drive owners can add a cassette recorder and save our cover tapes to disc, but tape owners can do nothing with a disc except sell it. As for most of cheap mode, being tape pokes, we can only print what we receive, though we do try to include as many disc items as we can, but point taken, we'll do our best to keep you and everyone else satisfied. Football! After being so rudely interrupted on page 13 of AA41 by Sugarman of all people, Would you please do the honour of printing my name and a full and new address so that other Matchday 2 players can contact me and maybe meet for a match? My new record score in a short game, his modesty fails me, 9-0. Chris Kinsella. Daytime only. Phone number in daytime only. Apologies, Chris, for Sugarman's bad manners, but what can you expect? This time we tried to place your letter a safe distance from him. As a consolation prize, not only are we printing your latest boast, we're also planning a mega soccer special for next month. We're reviewing at least 3 new footy games for the CPC and looking in depth at the history of the game. Does that satisfy, Chris? Microprosius Soccer, one of several coming soon. Next month's AA sorts out the champs from the chumps. War! What is it good for? Well, business for a start. While reading AA 42, I saw you were talking about war again, with the emphasis on again. You keep on promising to stop talking about war, but I don't believe you. I feel quite sorry for Mr. Smith. Reaction AA 41. Anyhow, having read all this war junk, I thought, well, let's look at the reviews. I nearly screamed. Only 3 of your reviews don't have much to do with war. But it's not just a one-off thing, it's every month. Come on, you guys, is that the only language you talk? Now, I expect it's my turn to get slagged off by you and the readers, but I don't care. Obviously, filling a magazine with war sells games, otherwise you wouldn't be doing it. And I expect that you will keep on doing it because if you ignore an adult, you don't take any notice of a child like me. Yours tried hardingly, James Hardy, age 11, Wantage Oxen. I think you're being unfair, James. We hardly ignored Mr. Smith. To much the annoyance of the readers who wrote to complain, we printed not just one but 2 of his long letters in one issue, and another shorter one the following month. Now we're printing yours. As far as the main subject of your letter goes, we're not trying to sell games, as you suggest, but review them. Review what appears, much of which is based on war, fighting, and other forms of immature male behaviour. Personally, I find most wargame scenarios tedious, though. I have to admire the skill with which the games are programmed. But the oceans, US Golds, and microproses of this world would hardly care what I think. It's what the games playing CPC users of this country think that matter. If significant numbers of our 38,000 readers buy such games, the software houses will continue to make them. They're not in the business of educating their public, but of making money by giving them what they want. The question, I suppose, is whether people buy such games because they like them or because that's what is available. Some of us are looking at the stars. I'm writing to you for information concerning astronomy software for the CBC 6128, particularly aimed at the beginner. I would also like to contact other users who use the CPC for astronomy purposes. Is there a weather satellite interface for the CPC? If so, who supplies it? I would be very grateful for any help and information you can supply. It seems to be difficult getting information concerning astronomy and computers linked together. Maybe some of your readers can help. Thank you for your cooperation. Mr. G. Dunbar, Belfast. It's a mystery to me, Mr. Dunbar, why there aren't many more. There was a program in the Triptych Brainpower series which was marketed by Amsoft and which is now unfortunately defunct. You may find one second hand or in the remainders rack of some less up-to-date shops. There is a French 6128 program entitled Astro 2001 Planetarium, available from Semaphore, France. Unfortunately, though, it's 325 francs, that's over £30, and postage is extra on top of that. As for the weather satellite interface, Microlink did one time, but then stopped. When we hear war, we'll pass it on through AMScene. And then there was Solar System, a program on the AA40 cover tape. Copies available from our mail order section. Look at the back of this issue. And here's our CPC music programmer. His name is Ludwig. Dave Rogers tells it like it is on page 20. We use it to keep account of how many stock control systems we have. Stock control. Oh. Well, not quite. Steve Williams reviews the second CPC stock control program on page 26. A load of old coddlers. You asked for it. 10 new Dizzy Rotten Egg games. Number 1, Dizzy on a Bike. BM Eggs Simulator. Fergie and Dizzy, the Grand Old Duke of Yoke. Turner Eggnog. Dizzy and the Roasted Aliens, Egg and Baked Beings. Dizzy Goes Poaching, a load of coddlers. Dizzy Heights, Chicky Eggers, Advanced Flight Trainer. Chicky Eggers, Advanced Flight Trainer. Dizzy Goes Salmon Fishing, the Egg and the Salmonella. Dizzy's forthcoming hot weekend, thank God it's fried egg. Big Mouth Dizzy, Total Eclipse. Featuring free-range scape. Number 10, The Last Adventure, Game Over. Hope you think these are excellent. Kevin Patton, Hemel Hempstead. Ah, no, Kevin, stop, please. You get your tenner. By the way, shortly after that fast food review appeared, we were privileged to receive the huge item pictured here. Oh, of course, we heard AA must be seen to be pure, then pure, above the law, and not open to bribes. So if whoever it was that sent us this clumsy attempted inducement would like to come and click the wrapper, oh, what a giveaway. Honestly, such open corruption makes us feel quite ill. Thanks for the 2 excellent reviews. Exposed evil Olivers tried to bribe innocent AA staff. Oh no. Hey, Sugar Man. Capital, a planet of such lethal business transactions that a man either becomes a company chairman or dies. This is Alan Sugar's home world, where a young business warrior, he trained in the ancient deadly art of screw you. The chambers of the chairman prime. Master, you taught me all, aid me this, my greatest peril. A 16% loss in company profits? The time has come, clodhopper, for thee to enter the office of doom. For only there wilt thou find thy answers. He says his sword. Yikes! DRAM shortages, bah! You're your own worst enemy. The PC200s in the shops without manuals, OS discs, or monitors. The German PCW monitors that didn't work with mice, RS-232 interfaces, or joysticks. No new price for 99. So what? 89 would be better. Thou hast learned well, clodhopper. If things get tough. Bullshit. Yeah, exactly. Exactly how business works, isn't it? A machine called Arnold. Hard to believe it, but the CPC really is half a decade old. Steve Carey talks to the people who made Amstrad's very first computer. Meet Einstein, Archimedes, William Shakespeare, Monet, and Ravel. Read the invitation. All of these famous namesakes apparently had something to say about Amstrad's really rather remarkable new computer. Not the most subtle of public relations stunts, maybe, but there was a full house at Westminster School on April 11th, 1984. The cynical Junos, is there any other kind? We're expecting Alan Michael Sugar trading, purveyor of cheap hi-fis, TVs, and CB radios, to fall flat on its flash backside. It was a bit like attending a fashion show hosted by Arthur Daly. To their surprise, not only had Amstrad a computer to launch, they had 4 machines present up and running. This in itself made a change from the usual boffin with a box-type launch. Even more remarkable was the fact that the new machine, incompatible with any other, already had software written for it on launch day. Amstrad, who had cannily arranged for prototype machines to be distributed among some 50 software houses, had set about rewriting the home computer rulebook. To date, says Amstrad's Mike Walton, who seemed surprised himself when he worked out the figures, over 2 million CPCs have been sold, the majority of those in the UK. The Amstrad the CPC built But a computer doesn't appear and sell 2 million units. Specifications must be drawn up. It has to be designed and built. And not least of all, firmware and software have to be commissioned. This may not be a problem for Amstrad now, when they've done it half a dozen times before. When you're primarily a cheap hi-fi importer and box shifter, as Amstrad were in 1983, it's a different proposition altogether. This is the story of the CPC, the computer that Amstrad built, and which in turn built Amstrad. It's not generally known that the CPC was originally contracted out to a team who never completed the project, and that furthermore, in its early days, was intended to be based around the 6502 chip rather than the Z80. We all know enough today. The idea for Amstrad's first computer project, in fact, was already formed by Easter of 1983, and with typical sugar drive, people were soon contracted to design a working prototype. This took a large leap of faith, for there was no one in Amstrad at the time with the technical knowledge to gauge the progress of such a task. Indeed, Ivor Spittle, who was assigned the task of examining the competition, claims he was chosen on the toss of a coin. He doesn't say whether he won or lost the toss. Unfortunately, however, the contractors completely underestimated the scale of the task, and matters came to a head in late July or early August, when it became clear that the working prototype had the makings of a very poor computer indeed. It had no grayscales in the mono version, for example, and the colour had no notion of palette. The memory map had the screen RAM right in the middle of the memory, and there was also the bizarre mystery of a second microprocessor, in the presence of which has never been very satisfactorily explained. One member of the team could cope with the pressure no longer, returned the advance, and disappeared, leaving the project in disarray. The experience isn't that rare. It happened 3 times with the CPM manual. One reason it was so late. I'll be glad when I bring out the CPC, says the person using ENIAC. This sudden departure may just possibly have had something to do with the fact that Sugar himself, a man not known for complacency on deadlines, was apparently in charge at the stage. On the case. Meanwhile, Amstrad themselves had been busy. They had the casing ready. They'd done the tooling. They designed the keyboard and the cassette mechanism, and had even got as far as precisely working out the locations of the holes that would need to be drilled. And so in early August of 83, Amstrad turned for a feasibility study to Ambit, where they had dealt with Williams Pole and Roland Perry. The similarity of company names is a coincidence, by the way. Perry, now Amstrad's technical manager, was the man called in to oversee the rescue mission. It was a tricky task. He had a plastic prototype case, a sort of working machine, and a set of strict and awkward rules from Amstrad. Among these were that absolutely no one was to know who was behind the new machine, if the contractors chosen to create the hardware and software, and that the parts, already ordered in bulk, couldn't be changed. Hardly surprisingly, given the curious nature of the brief, 2 companies in Cambridge proved not to be interested in Arnold. On the 10th of August, however, Perry visited Dorking, home of a young company called Locomotive Software, and got the break he was looking for. Hurry over there. Here. Richard Clayton, co-founder of Locomotive Software, takes up the story. We first saw the hardware in August of 83, he says, when Roland showed it to us in my front room. We had letter-setted the word Arnold on the case, but when we opened it up, Amstrad was printed quite clearly on the circuit board. But the name meant nothing to Clayton. Certainly Amstrad lacked any track record to convince the sceptical that this would be the beginning of something big. Locomotive did have a basic written for the Z80, but was sure that it would take much longer than 3 months to convert it for the 6502 processor that had been decided upon for Arnold. It was by no means clear in 83 which processor was winning. The BBC Micro, the Commodore 64, and Apple were all 6502 based, while the Spectrum and the Computers Lynx and several more obscure computers were using the Z80. So it came about that the CPC was recreated in a rather roundabout way as a Z80 machine. One project member recalls being at the party in the January of '84 and very naughtily spilling the beans to an astonished competitor that not only had the task been started, it had actually already been completed. Z80? He is said to have exclaimed, "Nobody told us the bloody processor could be changed." Clayton called Mark Eric Jones of MEJ Electronics, with whom he had worked in a company called Data Recall, and Roger Hurry, who came over to look at this early prototype. Eventually, Jones was to do the modifications to turn the design of the 464 into the 664 and 6128, and has since worked on the PCW and Amstrad's various PCs, while Hurry has continued to as a lone jobbing electronics engineer, winning the 1987 Guardian Innovation Challenge Award. To this day, there's a long-standing, though fairly good-natured, dispute still running between Jones and Hurry over who should have the credit over the words MEJ Electronics, over the work MEJ Electronics did on the Arnold project. The go-between. Locomotive quoted what they thought a high price, but were enthusiastic since one vital component, the case, had already been built. Believe it or not, this is the difficult and time-consuming aspect of creating a new computer. It takes about a year. By comparison, the software and firmware aren't so time-consuming. On August 17th, a schedule was drawn up for the roaming of the operating system. Those were the rules, says Clayton. From early September onwards, we had a whiteboard, and each week we changed the number of weeks to go, so we knew exactly where we stood. Lo and behold, it went on the arranged day, and it was rommed. Rommed. That's a word, you know. What rommed? The group commenced work in earnest, hiring Bruce Godden, whose name you'll on the title page of the firmware manual, to create the firmware. Perry made the point very forcefully to Amstrad, however, that contrary to their usual way of working, they were not to bother the contractors, Locomotive and MEJ, what Perry calls the "see you at Gatwick" method. Instead, Ambit were to be the go-betweens, protecting the contractors from Amstrad, at the same time making sure the project kept to schedule. There were other things to be organised too, an instruction manual, a welcome tape, and most importantly, the involvement of software houses to provide games for this new and previously unheard of machine. The aim was to have 20 games and 10 educational programs ready by launch day. This was William Powell's main task, as a frontman with the gift of the gab, to persuade all the software suppliers to write up for a machine they'd never seen, and only had Amstrad's assurance it would ever be made, let alone that it would be successful. One of the easier tasks was the firmware manual, given Locomotive's commendable habit of inserting large amounts of comment into their code. In particular, says Clayton, we write a lot of comments at the front of each routine, saying what it's going to do, the registers it uses, which ones are corrupted, and so on. Even so, it took Bruce Godden 3 months' hard work to produce the finished manual. It's a tribute to Locomotive's work that Amstrad never had to pay out on their £50 a bug offer. The Gas Man. The hardest part of the whole project, however, was getting the 50 pre-production units built. Amazingly, the PCB layout was complete by November, to be sent out to the software houses so they could work on games for the new computer. Perry hired Sally Tyler as an angel to transport these prototypes to various locations at the dead of night and ensure their safe collection. For months, it was her role in life. Clayton remembers being at Perry's house when Tyler loomed out of the darkness, handed over a box, and disappeared back into the night. She knitted the unique "Welcome to the CPC 464" jumper, reproduced on the bottom of this page, by the way. What? I don't see nothing at the bottom of the page. An important decision was to create a gate array, a discrete logic board that could be more easily and cheaply manufactured. This was the task of Roger Hurry, not Mark Jones, as has been mistakenly stated in some quarters. who set about creating the Gatorade simulator, or GAS board as it was known. The original board was the same size as the entire PCB, giving the prototypes the appearance of a double-decker circuit board. The CPC could have been made like this, but it would have added up to 50% to the final price. Go home and prepare for power up. Amstrad had no intention of launching a machine without software. Indeed, they had the foresight to establish the official Amstrad User Club and the official Amstrad Computer User magazine, both of which helped to create an all-round environment for the new CPC owner. Sugar was keen to press ahead with the project despite the lack of contracts. According to Perry, at a meeting revealing Amstrad as the instigators of this new machine, Sugar told the software companies, "Look, I want you to start work today when you get home this evening. If eventually something in the unsigned contract means the project can't continue, I'll pay you for the work done to date and we'll just call it off." His approach is very straightforward on that sort of thing, Perry says, and it's refreshing to hear it. It means people can go off and get cracking instead of waiting months for contracts to be exchanged. Even if it ain't broke, fix it. A final date, 23rd of January, was set for getting the finished prototype into the aeroplane for departure to the factory in the Far East. And this date was eventually met, but not without a hitch. For when the people at Amstrad tried out the prototype and found that nothing happened when you pressed the cursor keys, they protested. People, they said, would think the machine was broken. The requested alteration was done over the weekend, with the final prototype flying off as planned on the Monday. And that, believe it or not, is why the cursor keys on your CPC work as they do, allowing you to input lines of BASIC anywhere on the screen. One last story. Sugar is said to have sat in front of this new machine, moved the cursor up to the top of the screen, and carefully replaced the locomotive copyright with a series of spaces. For a gruesome grin, he quipped, "It's almost like a game in itself." But what if? And that, more or less, is how the CPC came to be created. We now know, of course, that the CPC was an outstanding success, and looking back, it's easy to see why. Indeed, it is still selling, despite Amstrad's lack of interest in heavy advertising or attention-grabbing price cuts. But at the time, it was a risky venture. Because of the lead time period between ordering parts and units and their arrival in this country, many thousands, perhaps as many as 100,000 CPCs had to be ordered before the launch. So even if the thing had flopped badly, Amstrad would have been stuck with a mountain of useless hardware. Just imagine what might have become of Amstrad had that happened. Whew. Desert Island Discs. Sticking his neck right out, Steve Carey selects the software, games and otherwise, he'll take with him on his CPC to a desert island. We've assumed that there's mains power, by the way. We can't be held responsible, however, for the old fool's choices. And tapes, of course, AA doesn't discriminate against 464 owners, we just thought it was a nice headline. Games I couldn't possibly live without. Bobsleigh Digital Integration, $9.95 and $14.95. This was the master game, AA29, and quite deservedly so. Sickening fast, but with enough strategy involved to keep you playing even after you got totaled for the 10th time. Boulder Dash, Prism, £2.99. The granddaddy of them all, and it's selected primarily for nostalgic reasons. Things may have moved in a bit since Rockford's debut, but still worth picking just for the memories. Number 3, Chuck Yeager, Electronic Arts, $8.95, $14.95. The best flight sim there is. For sheer excitement, variety, and entertainment, this is it as far as I'm concerned. Cybernoid, Houston, $9.99, $14.99. No collection would be complete without something from the brilliant Raf Chico. But until Stormlord appears, this is the one for me. Driller, Incentive, $14.95, $17.95. I could have picked any of the three Freescape games that have appeared so far. The others, Darkside and Total Eclipse, were also master games, but I chose this one because it was the first. So irritating though, trying to find those sectors. Matchday 2, Ocean 895, 1495. Although there's a whole spate of soccer sims coming out soon, I doubt if anything will touch Ocean's footy classic. Simply brilliant. But seriously, folks, Protext on ROM naturally, $39.95 on ROM, 1995 tape, $26.95 disc. We use Anna's tried and tested word processor to write AA on, so perhaps I'm biased. But then again, we've got to admire a word processor that's miles faster than anything even on a PC. And how often do you need a file longer than 38K, the maximum on ROM? Anyway, 38K, huh? MiniOffice 2, database, $14.95, 1995. So, as much for nostalgia reasons as anything else, this was the first piece of software, CPC software I ever tried out, and I've loved it ever since. So what if it's a bit rough around the corners? Protext Filer, Anna, $44.95, disc only. I've got well over 1,000 books I've always wanted to sort out properly, and assuming I can take them to this desert island, Filer is just the job. Bit slow, agreed, but easy to use. The alternative would be the excellent InfoScript from Brunning. But since I've already decided on Protext, I'll stick with this choice, thank you very much. Advanced Art Studio, EEC, $24.95. I've always wanted to get my pathetic drawing ability up to scratch, and AAS is quite simply the best CPC art package I've used. And now, of course, it's your turn. We'll give a prize for the best and most amusing list. Send it to Desert Island Discs. Music, sound advice. Game music soundtracks, love them or loathe them. You can't get them out of your head. But who writes them and how? Dave Rogers, who has programmed sound for Houston Consultants on such games as Nebulous, Cybernoid 2 and Stormlord, coming soon, tells all. They're certainly pushing Stormlord a lot. I first started computing on, altogether now, a ZX81. I then wrote some magazine articles, did a brief bit on Dragon and Spectrum, and went on to write commercial Amstrad games, including Red Zone and Biospheres, after which I turned to music. The work I do for a living is of three basic kinds. Firstly, there's conversions, where, say, a Commodore soundtrack is converted to the Amstrad, as was the case for Uridium. For this, a Verispeed tape recorder comes in very handy for slowing down the original, making it much easier to hear what's going on. Secondly, there's upgrading as in Runarama, where the original Amstrad tune was just a melody line, and my job was to add bass lines, harmonies, and other bits and pieces to make a fuller sounding ST version. Thirdly, and most often, I write my own music and sound effects from scratch, as in Synapse, Cybernoid, etc. High-tech, low-tech. I have a Korg DW8000 digital synthesizer, but it's rather misleading for composing phonic Casio tone. Oh no, I'm missing something here. Yeah. It's rather misleading for composing on, since it tends to make any old handfuls of notes sound quite impressive. But transfer exactly the same notes onto the Amstrad's AY chip, whose technical spec looks somewhat better than it actually sounds, and it usually comes out sounding pretty feeble. I find it better, therefore, to compose on the Amstrad itself, on a guitar, or on my little old monophonic Casio tone. If it sounds good on that, it can only get better on the Amstrad. Despite the limitation, a good composition on the AOA chip is just as valid musically as one for, say, the violin or guitar. The information content is comparable. Plagiarism rules! Uh-oh. Most readers will be surprised at how little communication there is between the game programmer and the sound person. It's usually a matter of a few phone calls, but on one or two cases I've never seen, spoken to, nor heard of the bloke doing the game, and have worked from a typed list of required sounds, together with a really helpful and informative scenario such as, "It's a shoot 'em up!" I hear of some programmers dashing things off in a few hours or so, but not me, I take weeks. I make everything 10 times more difficult for myself by rejecting anything that sounds obvious or predictable, which is totally wrong, of course, because that's exactly what most software houses want, something that's instantly recognizable. Plagiarism rules. My own style tends to sound a bit odd at first and may take a few lessons to get into, but Houston saw its potential, and the reviewers so far seem to have agreed with him. I'll probably get a really rotten review next time for saying that. Thanks for the memory. For the Amstrad version of a game, I'm usually given between 2 and 4K of memory to play with. However, before I so much as write a note, there are overheads of 1.2K in the shape of the driver routine, 900 bytes, the pitch table, 200 bytes, and index tables for envelopes. Work it out yourself. The driver code is assembled using Maxam and works out roughly like this. Each channel has a pointer moving through data blocks. Each byte pair it encounters is interpreted as note plus duration. 0 means a pause, 10 to 100 represents notes from bottom F to top C. Operation is in 1/50th of a second, or 1/25th in the case of games like Marauder, where it is tied to the frame rate. Bytes with values above 100 are used to slightly special functions, a few of which are shown in the box. In practice, of course, I don't see any of these numbers since things are entered as ab, inv 10, int 12, etc. and interpreted by my compiler. For the main tune, the pointers start off in a conductor block, which, as the name suggests, conducts all the rest by calling subroutines or bits of tune. This allows some parts to be repeated, but with different envelopes, keys, and so on, thereby adding variety and lengthening the music without eating up too much memory. Saving memory is paramount. A bass line may even be recycled elsewhere, but shifted up by, say, an octave and a fifth to form a harmony. Sound effects and jingles share the same system, but also have channel marker bytes at the start of their data blocks. A value of 1, 2, or 3 simply means start of the effect on that channel. But 4 means pick alternatively channel 1 or 2. And 5 means try and use channel 1, but if busy, use channel 2. And last resort, use channel 3. Markers 6 to 9 invoke other more intelligent algorithms. All this is to allow as many sound effects as possible to overlay at the same time. In Cybernoid 2, for example, if the continuous music is selected, then all effects default to channel 3, cutting off the least important component of the tune for a while. Restarts in the conductor block. Bring this back in again at appropriate times. If the music is off, however, the effects automatically spread themselves across all 3 channels to give a fuller sound. The amazing everything happening at once near chaos of Cybernoid 2, this system is worked to its limit. In fact, I'm surprised it doesn't get tied up in knots. This game, by the way, gets my vote as best ever, and is a sort of game I would love to have written myself. Priority markers prevent important effects from being cut off by lesser ones, so in Stormlord, for example, Pickup Theory has a higher priority than Player Fires, but not as high as Game Over, which must be able to override anything that happens to be going on at the instant the game ends. If there's going to be a continuous in-game tune, then I think a music on-off option is a must. So for Neverworld, I went a stage further and arranged that the music could be faded to whatever background level the player liked, without this affecting the volume of the sound effects. I would like to see this done more often, because although effects are essential for giving audible cues, a non-stop tune can get irritating after hours of continuous gameplay, yet is missed if turned off completely. Don't believe the hype. Although freelance, most of my sound work has been for Houston, and it is nice to be associated with such a high-quality product. Unfortunately, though, I see depressing parallels between the software charts and the pop music and TV ratings charts, in that they consist mostly of hyped-up mediocrity, while a lot of really good stuff never makes it. I mean, if there were any justice in the world, then A. Peter Gabriel would beat or preferably beat up Rick Astley. B. Horizon would outrate Brookside. And C. Cybernoid would outsell Outrun. Still, I do what I can to strike a blow for good taste. The rest is up to you, the customers. It's a great life, and I really enjoy what I do. But I hope now that you don't think it's as easy a job as it seems at first sight. forum. CPC debate rages around Pat McDonald, but he can cope. Protection, please. I want to store information on cassette in such a way that nobody else can gain access to the information. Paul Bradley, Plymouth. You're in every government in the world, Paul. Assuming that you're looking to include a routine in one of your own programs, and there are suitable type-ins in AA33 and 36. There's his own copy protection. There you go. Broadly speaking, a new regular page given over to comment and observation in the company of Emma Broadley. Welcome to the very first installment of Broadly Speaking. Not my idea for a brilliant headline, but there you go. In which I get to spout off for a whole page every month. The idea, as I understand it, is for me to comment at somewhat greater length, and I hope in depth, on current CPC issues and activities. Steve tells me I can say more or less what I want, though no doubt he's aware that if I say anything libelous, it's he who gets sued. But as with all of AA, the point is not that you sit back and read what we've written. You too can play a part by writing and letting us know what you think. Indeed, if enough of you write in and say so, this first BS could well turn out to be the last. Hot tip? No, it won't be. Goat got. Something that's really been getting my goat recently is all the misinformed comment on the state of the CPC market. I know Steve's already done this, but both in AA and in our sister Magnu Computer Express. Available every Thursday at all good news agents. Price 48p. Advert ends. But as one of the many who've only come to the CPC in the past 18 months or so, I wish to add my threepence worth. In my opinion, you'd have to be crazy to buy any other computer. After all, I challenge anyone to name a machine in the same sort of price range that can do as much as my trusty CPC. I run my accounts on it, write articles and chapters on my very promising novel on it, and even blast the occasional alien on it. I have friends who share my viewpoint and swear by their CPCs. No, I said swear by it. It's a fair game. It's far better games machine than the PCW, or even than the PCs. And I, for one, am not about to start shelling out £25 for a new release, as those poor Amiga and ST people have to. Furthermore, it's such a reliable machine, a factor we've seem to take very much for granted, by the way. Now, you can keep all your flashy, fashionable, and horribly expensive machines. I'll stick with my trusty CPC, thanks very much. Who can tell? Reading the story of the making of my favourite Arnold in this issue of AA, one thing strikes me. What would computing in Britain be like if things had been different? I wonder. There's no sense of inevitability about Amstrad's plunge in 83 and 84 into the maelstrom of home computers. Quite the opposite, in fact. You wonder what odds you could have got from any of the experts involved against the whole thing coming off at all. And of course no CPC to no Amstrad, and at least not in the way you and I think of them, as the biggest in the business in Britain. If you disagree with anything that appears in this column, or would like to air your own viewpoint, write to Emma's page. Oh, okay. The views expressed in this column do not necessarily reflect those of the editor of Amstrad Action or its publishers. Okay. Well, I better move on, I guess. Oh, an hour in already. I haven't even got to the reviews. Stock response. We worked out using Thomson Computer's stock control that we could just about afford to get Steve Williams to review it. He worked out that he just couldn't afford to refuse. Stock control, £15, CPM plus requires ProText. Thomson Computers. Good news. Clear and easy to follow. Good price for business use. Can't be tweaked. Bad news. Requires ProText. Slow. Stock control works under CPM Plus and requires the full CPM Plus version of Protex. The program is menu-driven and uses the pro-merge, mail-merge commands and the exec file and macro facilities in a similar manner to Protext Filer and Protext Office. Top software, rock bottom prices from Swift Software. There's never been a cheaper way to get into ROM software. Risty business. Oh. Throb. Could I just answer the readers' letters next month, Steve? The hacks pick up the sticks. Steve Carey, give the Sonic Speed King low marks because it discriminates against left-handers like myself. My favourite until now has been the Conic's Navigator because it's simple and unfussy and everything is where you expect it to be. But my new fave is the Microleisure Star Cursor, which is absolutely the best stick in the whole universe. It's the arcade style one. Where is it? Here it is there. This thing. Pat McDonald, Tech Ed. My all-time fave is the Terminator, just because it's shaped like a hand grenade. My current favourite is the QuickJoy Supercharger 3, because it's the daftest name. Gary Blaster Barrett, ex-staff writer, remember him? Oh, well, it doesn't matter. All-time favourite, the Kingston Pro. Though now I use the Conic Speed King. You all remember the names when Gary would rip into his drawers and pull out his Conics when he wanted a waggle. Bob Ragler Wade, ex-Ed. I like the old faithful arcade style stick, but I now share my computer with a Conic Speed King. We are, however, just good friends. Little Dicky Montero, ex-Tech Ed. All-time fave is a Phaser 1. Too much Star Trek as a kid. But I'm now saving up my grossly inadequate pay to buy a Conic's Navigator. Trenton, incredibly handsome Webb. Highly talented staff writer. My all-time favourite stick has to be the Star Cursor because it's multi-purpose, highly adaptable, and very, very different. Get yourself one of these and you'll be the envy of the everyday waggler. Titan. Ace, very fast and intense. Amstrad Action, absolutely stunning, friendly, addictive. Titan deserves some kind of award. It will have you playing time and time again until your joystick can take no more. ST and Amiga format, astonishing visuals, stunning, super fast graphics. Make this one so addictive your eyes will turn into spinning kaleidoscopic squash balls. Amiga, Atari ST, PC, Amstrad CPC, and Spectrum C64 and 128. Titus, and the Titus logo are registered trademarks of Titus Limited. The Great AA Joystick Jury. It's a list of them all. Suckers or pads. Star Turn. At least 7 stars have released. The last 7 stars have released a CPM Plus version of Qualitis. Pat McDonald, Gazer's Theron. Qualitis Utility Pack for CPM Plus. $9.95 disc only. Good news, very impressive results. Works with a lot of software. Documentation is step by step. Bad news, still tricky to set up. Useless without Qualitis Plus. We finally made it. Action test. He's a human games reviewing machine. He's Trenton Webb. HKM, not for pacifists. This page. Master game, Barbarian II. Question of sport. Jinx. SDI. Crazy Cars 2. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 games. They mentioned Crazy Cars 2 twice. So that's it. That's 8 games. I think there's also compilations as well, which got 1 extra game to look at as well. But anyway, it's time for HKM. A US Gold, $9.99 cassette, $14.99 disc, joystick or keys. The meanest son of a snake you've ever seen. That's how the pack describes HKM, the human killing machine. You can't help but be intrigued as to the nature of the game, how it plays, and above all, by the chap's odd parentage. HKM is about running around, jumping up and down, and hurting people. Hitting people. You visit 5 countries and beat the living daylights out of 2 Arabs, 2 Germans, 2 Dutchwomen, a Russian, a Spaniard, a bull, and a dog. I think that offends just about everyone, don't you? The graphics feature cartoon-style warriors in famous parts of the world. A Spanish bull ring, war-torn streets of Beirut, the red light district of Amsterdam. As each blow lands on target, pow, zap, appears in the collars of the successful fighter. And the fighting begins. You battle Igor in Red Square, Moscow. He's your everyday trendy Russian soldier with furry boots, furry hat, and an oversized rifle. You need to knock him down 3 times to defeat him, whereas you can survive 5 knockouts. A knockout occurring after 3 clean punches, if you say so. Igor, like the others, has a special ability and a specific weakness. He uses his rifle to bat your poor little Quan sprite around in a seriously damaging fashion. But this self-same weaponry slows him down, making him vulnerable to flying and sweep kicks. Other adversaries are prone to punches or somersault kicks. It's a case of learning the hard way, though, because the packaging gives no clues whatsoever. No sooner do you beat one villain than up pops their sidekick to do unto you as you did unto his pal. In the bull ring, for example, Miguel is easy to fight compared to his supporting act, Brutus the Bull. You must beat these people and animals convincingly, because your future state of health depends on how you fare against your current opponent. If you manage to thrash them, keeping all your lives, Quan's healthy state determines a favourable ratio of knockdowns needed to win versus knockdowns withstood for the next stage. If you only just survive, however, Quan is tired and needs many, if not more, knockdowns than his opponent to win through. Life's tough, ain't it? So, with many roads to travel and people to beat, this fight-seeing tour with various villains and their odd little ways is good fun. But just kicking and punching shows limitations in the gameplay, let alone a seriously impoverished moral sense. The cartoon nature of the graphics gives Quan and adversaries a superhero touch. And even the stately pace of movement cannot detract from the satisfaction felt when you finally work out how to beat each nasty and can proceed to your next part of cool. And more scenic violence. I reckon you'll enjoy HKM a whole lot to begin with, but the interest may tail off after a few hours. First day target score, get to Amsterdam. Second opinion. I disagree entirely with Trent on this one. The sprites are really well done, even to having anatomically incorrect but very convincing legs. They're too long. If you enjoyed Target Renegade and Bad Dudes vs Dragon Ninja, you'll love HKM. Mindless fun. Green screen. You Quan see clearly. Yeah, unfortunately, this doesn't really play anything like Target Renegade or Dragon Ninja. We'll see exactly what this plays like in a minute. And the verdict. Graphics 72%. Great sprites and settings. Movement is rather slow. Sonic 63%. Punchy tune. Limited sound effects. Grab factor 66%. Has some knockout characters. Lack of pace is off-putting. Off-putting. Staying power 72%. Lots of opponents to fight. Needs a continue option to prevent frustration. AA rating 65%. Violence among the jet set. Good graphics offset a slow-paced game. Okay. Let's get started. here we go. Fun times are afoot. And there's a human killing machine having stern words with this dude. This is your title screen. Press fire, game over. Well, at least we'll agree that the music is reasonably decent. Start. I do have inputs, Matt, right? No, I do not. No wonder it didn't work. I thought I'd done that beforehand. If we go. Quan is strong. Quan needs 3 knockdowns. Enemy needs 5 knockdowns. Well, he's our game. Yeah, this is very much Street Fighter. Slightly different graphics. You just get the right distance and you got to do it on the side. So it's just as weird as Street Fighter was. Knockdown! I've sort of been practicing Eagle a little bit. Yeah, because he has the range advantage if he's on the right. Whoever's on the right seems to have a bit extra range. Because hitboxes. Oh. Oh, jeez. Be careful. Ow. Oh, I'm still alive. Oh, jeez, he's getting close. He even dies the same way Ryu does in Street Fighter. Voting next opponent. Quan is strong. Quan needs 3 knockdowns. Henry needs 5 knockdowns. Oh no, that's apparently a dog. Shipsky. Okay, we just did the same thing we did before. That seems to work. Oh, and he's going in. We have knockback to a point. It's not quite the end of the screen though. There's here apparently. Weird. TTX quality, obviously. Alright? Loading next opponent. Travel to Amsterdam. Quan is strong. Maria. Okay. Okay. Oh jeez. Okay. Loading next opponent. Quan is strong. We have Helga. He's not doing anything. Ow. That's 50% damage. Oh, she's walked into that. Oh. Whew. Ow. Jeez. Oh, jeez. Oh, just 2 hits! Ugh. Over. Oh, jeez. Oh, jeez. You want to keep doing? Come on, keep going, keep going. Here we go. His opponent travelled to Barcelona. Quan is tired. Quan needs 4 knockdowns. Oh, Jesus, that's a lot of damage. Keep doing the sweep kick. You can sit there and take it. Okay. Damn. Way too much damage. Just like Street Fighter. Right, move forward. Thank you. Oh, jeez. Perfect. likes to jump. Come on, jump at me. Alright, one more. Don't jump away, jump forward. Thank you. Oh, jeez. Whew, okay. Very next opponent. Connor's tired. Brutus. Ow. Oh, jeez. Well, this is very fun. Ow. Oh, and I got too close. But this is going well. He's gonna do something. Oh, got too close. Oh, Jesus. This might be where it ends. Oh, come on, gotta do something. Get it, abandon. Do something! I'm dropping inputs here. That's one. Hey, 300,000 points. Woohoo! Just gotta do that 3 more times. Okay. So we got it in their position again. Oh! I think we're in position again. Ah! Nope. Ah, well. Quan is dead. Game over. Go back to Moscow. Well, not really going to play through that again. uh, we saw 6 stages out of 10. We'll move on. Alright, next game. Next game is A Question of Sport by Elite. $14.99 cassette, $19.99 disc, joystick keys. Q David. Q Plummin David. Am I on now? Yes, here we are. Long last, the official, Question of Sport. The game they're calling Question of Sport. Absolutely extraordinary. Well, it is. Well, is it or isn't it? Can a mere computer game capture the subtle blend of tech and sporting trivia that keeps the nation engrossed once a week? Would they want to emulate this if they could? True fans of the show were well impressed with the way it was transformed into a board game, so there have been high hopes, not to mention a long wait, for the CPC version. The first thing to strike you is that all-the-time musical classic, The Question of Sport theme tune, is missing. Heads will roll at Elite, surely. Don't call me Shirley. If one is denied the pleasure of watching a TV professional like David Coleman at work, the least you can expect is a chance to hear the music. Play kicks off with the choice of being Bill or Ian. What a decision. And whether you play your CPC or a friend. Then you pick one of 10 specialist sports, and the people who make up your team. They're presented in the form of the infamous, it's either Princess Anne or Viv Richards, David picture board. Though naturally the names have been changed to protect the innocent. Mike Nigel Mansell, for instance, becomes Garoy. Fair enough, they can't pay everyone in show business just to bring curiosity to life. And it's down to the nitty-gritty of showing off your immense sporting intelligence. The first round, as usual, is the There Goes Evelyn's Knighthood picture board. Here another adaptation rears its ugly head. There are no pictures. Instead, you get an in-depth 12-word description of a sporting star or event, with 4 answers to choose from. Even in questions about phenomenally dull sports such as show jumping, whoops, there's my knighthood, you don't get a chance to humiliate yourself with a completely wrong answer. Not really in the Question of Sport vein, is it? Who won the FA Cup in 1942? Was it Shergar David? David R. Hero Coleman then guides the teams through the rest of the traditional QoS sections: mystery personality, home or away, a quick fire round, and what happens next. All are faithfully reproduced except that words replace pictures. This, however, doesn't dampen the QoS spark, for even in this very static form, it is an enjoyable quiz format. The program and the game are both fragmented enough to avoid boring too many people for too long, with enough continuity to ensure that when the other team do get ahead on points, it does matter. I mean, being beaten by Bill Beaumont? This is Major League shame we're talking here. QoS scores all over its rival Triv games simply because it has a tried and tested formula, and is based on a 2-team principle. Playing on your own leaves you sneering at the opposing captain's errors, or fuming when they start to get all the easy questions. Playing in a group soon elicits strong loyalties to your beloved leader, be it Ian or Bill. If you like sport and or cheap TV shows, you're in for a treat. The structure is a mite constricting, and there are features which would make the game more playable but less like the tally. Could you please say that again, David? I was slurping me coffee. Feature would have been very useful, for instance, but would ruin the authenticity. Similarly, the speed of the game varies vastly from snail's pace in the home and away round to ridiculously fast in the quickfire round. This lifts the game, even if it's a bit annoying at times, especially since you only have 6 rounds to prove you're a sports trivia Einstein and not a complete Billy Beaumont. Question of sport has an obvious target public, but will confirmed quizzy addicts get enough for their 15 or 20 quid? Scandalous pricing, incidentally. Initially, yes, it's remarkable how little picky of a Dave jabbering away will satisfy and entertain a die-hard fan for a while. Yet, even the most fanatical viewer only has to enjoy or endure, delete as applicable, 30 minutes every week. But with the CPC game, this can become every 30 minutes. And even David Charmer Coleman can't take that kind of exposure and remain fresh and fun. First day target score, not applicable. Second opinion. Elite have taken on a tricky task, converting quite a visual and immensely popular game. And I think they've done as well as can be expected. We certainly had fun with it here at AA Mansions. Green screen? Good on your sport. I think the Ian they refer to as Ian Botham, I think. Popular cricket player, probably the only person in the whole thing that I've heard of. The verdict, graphics 64%, detailed portraits of David, Bill and Ian. Incredibly static visuals. Sonics 32%, the audience claps, the clock ticks, the buzzer buzzards, and that's it, no theme tune. I get the feeling they missed the theme tune. Grab factor 72%, surely you can't lose to Bill. Staying power 61%, play sparingly and interest will last. Overdo it and you'll get very bored. AA rating 60%. Love the show? You'll love this. Time for more quiz show. Alright, quiz show time. A question of sport. The BBC and a question of sport are trademarks of the British Broadcasting Corporation, copyright 1986, the British Broadcasting Corporation. Format of the program, copyright 1986, the British Broadcasting Corporation. Format of the program. Okay. We do have music. Something. Select the question block. Alright, let's go block 1. Coding, Mark Crane. Visuals, Steve Beverly. Music by Mark Cooksey. Design Ian Upton. Realisation Nick Acton. That's all you get. Hey, one player game. Music. This theme tune that they were missing? I don't know. I don't remember the Krishna Sport theme tune at all. I'll say it's just been a lot of time since I last saw the show. Trying to remember, I think we might have had a local version of it to start with. But at some point we did get the British version. Anyway. Player 1. Select specialist subject. This is golf, cricket, soccer, motor racing. I don't know, it looks like he's trying to signal an aircraft in that one. Boxing, rugby, I think it's track and field, equestrian, and I don't know. Real cricket, I might have a chance. We've got flippy cards. It's fancy. Choose your picks. Choose these two. Hello, I'm David. On the left is Bill, whose subject is cricket. Team member 1 is David, whose subject is cricket. Team member 2 is Mike, whose subject is football. On the right is Ian, whose subject is cricket. Team member 1 is Phil, whose subject is golf. Team member 2 is Mark, whose subject is tennis. Now on with the show, on with the game. The first round is the picture board. David, choose a number, please. Which number do we select? 11. In which year did the Commonwealth Games go metric? 66. Oh, incorrect. Well, New Zealand went metric in 1967. It's the closest. Probably 1970. Correct! 1 point. Phil, choose a number, please. Western Australia's test match ground is known as what? The Waka. It's the Waka. Here it is, the Waka. Western Australian Cricket Association, just in case you didn't notice. 2 points. Great. We're losing already. Mike, choose a number, please. Oh no, we've got golf. Who has won the US PGA title 5 times since it became a stroke play tournament? Greg Norman. Jack Nicklaus is the only other one I've heard of. That's probably the correct answer too, knowing my dumb luck. When I was testing this, they were getting all the answers wrong, so... Football. Tottenham Hotspur defeated which side in the last All-London FA Cup final? That's from when? Arsenal, probably. Ooh, we get a chance. Bill, for a bonus point. Oh. Yeah, it shows what I know about football. Yeah, sports trivia of the game, it pretty much is. I don't know what that is. The last British lady to win the French Open singles title, it's tennis, was... I've no idea. Guess. Oh. Ian, for a bonus point. I mean, what does Ian both of them know about tennis? Incorrect. Ian, choose a number, please. Got equestrian. Great Britain's first ever Olympic individual gold medal was won by whom? I don't know any of these names. Oh. Round 2 is mystery personality. Bill's team for 3 points. An army captain who led his country to sporting success. I don't know any of these names. Oh. Ian, for a bonus point. I'm being terribly at this. Ah. Ooh. Ian's team for 3 points. This West Australian set a record by playing 96 times for his country. 52 caps were won consecutively. Again, I don't know any of these names. Round 3 is home or away. David, please choose home or away. I think home just gives you a question on your specialist subject. In 1987, minor counties defeated which first class side at Oxford in a Benson and Hedges Cup match? Like I know British cricket. You probably know this, right? You just picked the same thing I did. You idiot. Phil, please. Choose home or away. In which year did the British Open first end on a Sunday? No idea. No idea. Well, Mike, please choose home or away. Away. The only rider to successfully defend an individual Olympic title was... Oh. Didn't we just have this question? For a bonus point. Mark, please choose home or away. Who was the game's superstar? Huh? More info would be nice. I don't know any of these names again. It's going well, isn't it? Bill, please choose home or away. Who captained Pakistan to England in 1987? Ooh, ooh. Imran Khan, perhaps. Yeah! Got a point! We got a point! Even at least it was names I knew. Graham Hick hit the century's highest first-class total in England against which country? County. Obviously county. They're the same 4 counties we had in the last question. Incorrect. Okay, we get a chance. Glamorgan. Go Glamorgan. For no particular reason there. Not like I knew anything. Well, we got a point. Round 4 is... What happened next? Bill's team. For 2 points. Athlone Town were attacking Finn Harps in an Irish Cup match when the Athlone Town goalkeeper intervened. What happened next? A. He joined in the attack. B. He sat on the crossbar. C. He lit a cigarette. D. He conceded a goal from a 50-yard back pass. I think I've seen something like that happen before. Oh, never mind then. Is it there? You go light up a cigarette for no particular reason. Not sure how. Oh, correct. 1 point. Ian's team for 2 points. Lisa Opie took a backswing to retrieve a shot from Lucy Sauter in the final of the English National Championship in 1987. What happened next? A. Sauter tripped her up. B. Her racket smashed. Salters. Nose. Ow. C. She let go of the racket. D. The racket cracked the Perspex wall. So that is correct. Round 5 is quickfire. Oh boy. Bill's team. There are 9 questions. Correct answer 2 points. Incorrect answer, time penalty of 2 seconds. 1. On which course can you find holes called Klondike and the Dell? Royal St. George. I don't know. Ah, here goes 2 more seconds. Time penalty 2 seconds. 2. The last country to win successive Olympic individual gold medals for riding was West Germany. Oh, it was Great Britain. 3. The 1976 Olympic individual gold medal was won by whom riding Ballycore? I've no idea. Get, I don't know these names. It's going well. Melbourne's famous venue is which I was wondering, which sport are we referring to here? Flemington is horse racing, and the Gabba is cricket. I think the Gabba is in Adelaide. Oh, I didn't get the question. Oh, time out. Never mind. Alright, we've got 2 more points. Correct answer, 2 points. Incorrect answer, time penalty 2 seconds. Whose nickname is Supermix? Lee Trevino. That's what I would have guessed too. And Moore won the Queen Elizabeth II Cup in successive years on correct somehow. Brisbane's test match venue is known. Is this the Gabba? It's Brisbane. It's the Gabba, yeah. That's wrong. That's horse racing. This is a test venue. I can at least figure out that's probably cricket. Huntsman's Close is on which course? Really, probably. Maybe. When were rugby league's fixtures first held on a Sunday? Incorrect. Who rode Lauriston to an Olympic gold medal in 1972? The one time that was a correct answer. The last Englishman to be seeded for the Wimbledon men's singles title was... Again, I don't know any of these names. I think I'd have some idea of tennis, but no. The value of the try increase from 3 to 4 points. Time out. I think we lost. The 6th round. Oh, good, it's still going. The 6th round is the picture board. What? The picture board? The 6th round. Do we have to do this twice over? Oh boy. Boxing. Dennis Andrews lost his WBC light heavyweight title to... I don't know any of these names again. For a bonus point. Phil, choose a number, please. Where are frogmen used in Grand Prix racing? I'd go with Monaco because there's a lot of water around there. Why didn't I get that question? Mike, choose a number, please. Oh no, it's anything. The Derby is run over which distance? Horse racing most likely. 4 miles. Oh, it was 3 miles. I don't know. Just calling it the Derby. England likes to do that. It's called things the. It's not 1 mile either, so. Mark, choose a number, please. Oh, here's the other cricket question. The highest first-class total ever scored in England was by whom? Probably Jeff Boycott. IT Botham. He's right there. Oh, no, it wasn't. Okay. Oh. Bill, choose a number, please. 2 or 12. 12. It's rugby. Which national side has Wally Lewis captained? Oh, Australia. It's rugby league as well, not rugby union. Damn, I knew. Choose a number, please. Football. Which striker's trademark when he scores is to turn a somersault? Don't half of them do that? It's probably Maradona. It's the only one I've heard of. Oh, okay, there you go. Well done, Ian. You scored 25. Hard luck, Bill. You scored 5. Hope to see you again. Well, that was a question of sport. Now we can move on. Next game. Oh, look, it's multi-face 2 again. Next game is Barbarian II by Palace. $9.99 cassette, $14.99 disc. Joystick keys. Here's your cover. I go see the cover art because Maria Whittaker's on it again. No one cares about the other guy. The story so far: the barbarian has just rescued the fair Princess Mariana from Drax, an evil wizard with a Maria Whittaker fixation. During the melee, Drax does a runner, leaving the barbarian with the girl, but no one to chop into little pieces. The escape of such a dangerous and generally nasty character causes much consternation and the increase in insurance premiums. In the land of the jeweled, he must be stopped before he gets a chance to lay waste to them all with black magic, incredible monsters, and exploitative posters. It's decided that the only reasonably entertaining course of action is to hunt Drax down and slap his wrist once and for all. The job will be difficult, involving an arduous journey to the lair of the wizard and defeating hordes of his hideous creations. Only 2 people are skilled and psychotic enough in the arts of war to stand any chance of success: Barbie and the Princess Mariana. Yes, it seems as well as wearing skimpy tin bikinis, she's also hot stuff with a sword, which proves she's not just a pretty face. So, as the adventure starts, you choose who to play as, Meathead or Bimbo. There's no difference between them except that she wields a sword and parades semi-naked while he uses an axe and sports designer furry trunks, but both hack and slash like good uns. These star characters are drawn brilliantly as comic book warriors, and their movements instantly catch their eye. They move as real human beings and not game sprites, especially when you fall foul of some creature and go to meet your maker. After being pushed to the edge of a pit by some monster, even these hardened homicidal maniacs flail their arms in a vain attempt to gain balance before plummeting to their doom. The game takes place over 4 levels, 3 of which are mazes, and the 4th of which is the inner sanctum of the Drax's bolt hole. You start in the wasteland with your 3-fold task. First, you must find the entrance to the next level. Secondly, collect certain magical artifacts needed later on. And thirdly, kill as many monsters as you can lay your axe on. The creatures who want to give your life insurance man an ulcer are the main feature of the game. They provide not only the opposition, but also the black humour that gives the game its edge. Each level has a different menagerie of beasties, and each one has a different mode of attack and real comic quality. In the wasteland, you meet red apes who swing at you with oversized feet, mutant chickens who try to pick you to death, and very good at it they are too, and a pimple something with a whiplash tongue. The stars, though, are the cavemen and the dragons. The Neanderthals come at you, swing clubs, and when successful in taking one of your 5 lives, they look at the screen and laugh, revealing their prehistoric gnashes. The dragons also gloat at your demise. After your head is bitten off, you watch it being swallowed, a snack followed by a hearty belch. Similar gory jokers appear on each level, but perhaps the best of them all is the lion-type thingy, which, knocking you to the ground, proceeds to munch the parts that other beasties cannot reach. Grotesque, but great fun. The Monty Python style of bloodletting is not the sole domain of the creatures, because Babs and Mariana have a go too. If you manage to get your sword strokes right, you can send heads flying from the shoulders of cavemen. They'll learn them. Mutant chickens can be carved up. And Dungeon Guardians can witness a quick bit of open-heart surgery, courtesy of your ever-trusty sword. Barbarian II sports great peripheral graphics to help the game, and your axe go with a swing. Your energy and that of the nearest opponent is indicated clearly by bars at the top of the screen, while shining jewels tell you how many lives you have left. A sword that always points north helps you find your way through the wasteland, caverns, and dungeon. Your current total of points is also shown on the bottom corner. But let's face it, who cares about points? Just send in the orcs. Hack 'em up fans will love the swordplay element of Barbarian II. A hero dispatches enemies in a multitude of ways, including a spinning neck chop, which breaks the ice, amongst other things, at any of Drax's parties. But those who prefer a little more brains with their blood will also find the game great fun, with mazes tricky enough to have you going around in circles for days. The collection of the artifacts adds a greater level of gameplay to the slaughter, for while they are not necessary to get to the next level, they just might save your life. Barbarian 2 is both highly playable and infuriatingly difficult at the same time. It blends extreme violence, black humour, and the puzzling mazes so well you can hardly see the joins. The sight of the sword-wielding woman getting eaten by a lion may upset certain people, including the lady herself, no doubt, but the humorous tone taken, even when the blood starts to spurt out of your neck, offsets most of the offensive elements. There will no doubt be an outcry about the gratuitous violence in the game, but what are these people who are easily offended doing buying a game called Barbarian 2 anyway? First day target score, get to the second level. Second opinion. It's been a long wait for Barbarian 2, and now that we've seen the finished result, it's pretty obvious why. Palace have really put everything into this one, and while the scenario is still a little dim-witted, meet a monster, killed or be killed, it's all done with such enthusiasm, skill, and style that I found myself itching to play it again and again. Any game that makes me laugh out loud as my character gets killed must be worth buying. Green screen. Looks well mean, even in green. The verdict. Graphics, 93%. Outstanding realistic character movement. Amazing, amusing array of monsters. Sonic's 88%. No tunes. Witty extra effects such as laughter and pitfalls. Grab factor 94%. Instant swordplay fun. Plenty to explore. Apparently that's a bad thing. Staying power 89%. Multitude of monsters to find and kill. Mazes may be too irritating for prolonged play. AA rating 92%. Sharpen that axe. Polish that sword. Let's get hacking. A fun game to play and watch. Feeling a bit peckish, are we? There's your purple chicken thing. Alright. Time to start playing, I guess. Yeah, I played this a fair bit back in the day. It's something you can get the hang of. It's definitely finishable because I just definitely remember finishing it at some point. Probably with the help of a map, I guess. I wasn't one for writing out maps. Doubt I remember anything, though, at this point. It was some years ago. Barbarian II, Copyright Palace, 989. Created by MC LaFlorian Limited. Programmed by Paul Atkinson. Warrior or Princess? We've got to be the princess, right? Yeah, music from Riga. Crackers like to don't always use the music of their own making, obviously. Joystick. Start. This thing. Back off. Hey, back off. Ow. Oh, get out of here. Wee. Oh, oh. Let me do something, why don't you? Oh, don't turn around. That's worse. Well, this is going well. Can we at least hit you? Ah, here we go. Here goes the head. Oh, yeah. Here's your chicken thing. Oh, pick up the skull. It's an extra life. Come on. Oh, she's a dragon. Oh, be careful with the... Go be careful with this thing. Oh. Oh, he's laughing. Look at him. Oh, come on. Let me do something. Oh, jeez, come on. Don't do that. Actually, I can go. Should go back. Item here. I don't know what it does, but... Okay, off we go. I have absolutely no idea where I'm going. Oh god, what is this thing? Oh. Back off. Got him. Here you go. This thing. Oh, jeez, a hole. Oh, no. Oh. Dead. Well, I made it to the other side. Where's another? Oh. There's another extra life. We just lost one. Oh. And things like that happen. You go low, you can't bite your head off, I guess. Absolutely no idea where I'm going. I'm not even going to attempt that. Oh, gee. can stop now. No, don't turn around. You can't even fly over the hole. Oh, should expect that to happen. Nope. Oh. Oh no. Right. Oh, that's not right. I think something might be wrong here. Don't do that. Can I jump this thing? Some enemies you can jump over. Yeah, I can jump over those ones. Oh. I don't jump, you idiot. Level 2 loading. Somewhere we found the exit. Somehow. Hopefully level 2 actually works. Oh, this lovely thing. I was not expecting to get past level 1. Avoid the hole. Ow. Oh, jeez. And you did. Okay. Delayed death. Oh, jeez. Got a crab. Okay. An extra life. Oh, damn it. Stop jumping. Don't jump. Oh, just panther thing. Oh, yeah. This is the thing that eats you. Okay, that works. Kick that. Kicking will stop that. Oh, jeez. Jump over the crab. Yeah. Oh! Oh, and he laughs. Uh-huh. Oh, extra life. Ah. Oh. Oh. Yeah. This is the way I'm going anyway. What does it matter? Well, I know he laughs. Oh, it's life. Okay. Oh, I think I can jump over these things here. Oh, he jumped backwards. See if I can get him to eat me. I'm pretty sure they can do that. There you go. Dead. Oh, got his head. Wasn't sure that was possible. Oh no. Oop. And we did. Boom, boom, boom. Ah, that's Barbarian 2. You actually got to see 2 levels. Oh. And then when you finish this, it promises you coming soon is Barbarian 3. It never came out though. Right, on to the next. Probably fit in one more game. Next game is Jinx. Go. $9.99 cassette, $14.99 disc, joystick. Never judge a game by its cover. There you are in the shop, reading the Jinx inlay and hoping for a game based on surveying the planet Atavi. Load it up, and you're faced with something suspiciously like Breakout. Jinx is the latest offering from Rainbow Arts, a German software house of some repute, marketed by Go. The idea is to use a bat to hit the ball down a corridor from left to right and through a teleporter, marked by a set of orbiting stars. The bat can be flipped over. One side is flat, the other curved. The bat also apparently has a hole in it, leading to the most appalling misses. I've got a squash racket like that, Ed. Obstacles are the usual Breakout style bricks, but there are others. Extra lives can be culled from one pyramidal type. The drawback is that a bat smashing monster looks exactly the same, except that it moves. A green blob uses similar tactics. The ball can go through moving monsters, but a stationary mouth gobbles it up in an instant. The game elements, which really leave you screaming, are the bumpers, of which there are 2 types, one tall and thin, and the other short and fat. When the ball hits one of these, it ricochets, usually predictably, but sometimes in an extraordinarily random direction. Before you start, you can alter both the speed of the ball and the gravitation, how high it bounces, though the speed of bouncing remains constant. It's unlike real gravity, but the game is more playable as a result. The thing you need to know about Jinx is that it's fast, even at the slow levels. Control of the ball is very difficult. Sooner or later, you master the first level. As the ball can't die, you just keep whacking it to the right. And then the fun really starts, because level 2 is seriously difficult. Level 3, by contrast, is a cinch. And all that remains in level 4, which I haven't even come close to completing, and that's it. 4 levels, there is no more, because of the lack of game. Go make it incredibly difficult to play. Graphics, though very colourful, lack definition. There aren't enough clean edges. Most of what's on the screen is just so much pretty background. Jinx looks impressive, but you soon appreciate that the majority of the screen doesn't do anything. One thing Jinx does well is scroll, right from one edge of the monitor to the other. The movement of the bat and the ball are similarly fast. There is a slight problem when the latter can become stuck to the roof, but you have to do it deliberately. And when the speed is set too high, the bat occasionally shudders in mid-flight. Apart from these two things, game movement is pretty slick. So if you want a tough test of your joystick prowess and your patience, Jinx will suit you down to the ground. Otherwise, avoid it. First day target score, complete the second level. Boxing clever. The instructions for Jinx are misleading. They allege that there is a title tune, that if you finish a level, you play a bonus level, and then choose which level you play. And you can play on keys, and then the ball can shrink. And none of this is true in the Amstrad version. Second opinion. Getting the difficulty level right for any breakout type game is always a bit of a nightmare, and here I'm afraid Rainbow Arts have just got it wrong. Sure, the real champ wagglers out there will wonder why the fuss, but for those of us who haven't passed our advanced wagglers test, Jinx is just going to prove too much. Looks great though. Screen, playable, but dull. The verdict. Graphics 74%, very bright, but not enough detail. Sonics 30%, just jingles. Grab factor 52%. At first, you really want to play. Staying power 24%, boring. AA rating 53%, small and too tricky. It's bouncy, it's very, very bouncy. Alright. Time to get this started then. Alright. And I have to run virtual machine to play this. So I don't remember. I have to update virtual machine at some point. It keeps telling me there's a new version available, and I should probably download it at some point. Alright. Maybe the disc could help. Alright. Rainbow Arts present. Jinx, speed slow, gravitation slow. Start. Enable our controls. It helps. Slow, normal, high, slow. Stick with slow, so we've got terrible reactions. Volume down a little bit. Maybe just let it go, right? It's supposed to just go to the right, huh? Oh, jeez. Right, this is going to be a fun game, isn't it? Oh, yeah, that's good physics. Oh, I touched the thing. Don't do that. High jumping, high bounce now. Oh, it went through the bat. Oh, I get a higher bounce. No, don't that way though. This is going to be one of those games, isn't it? Hey, we did it. Level 2. Hey, level 2 is seriously difficult. Got load from disk 2. Get 2 lives. That's all. Oh. At least we can get a few tries at this. Okay. One stone and one object. That's 1 times 100, 200, by the way. Don't explain that. I hit right into the little mouth. Alright, it's something to avoid, I guess. I don't do that. No! Make it? Oh. No, we died off. All dies off screen. Yeah. So this is a game. So I don't think we're going to get past level 2. Oh. Alright, that's it. I'm just going to assume. Try again. Reload the level. Why you hit thing? Oh, jeez. Check for this. Okay. I don't hit it back that way. No! It's so hard to control. To hit precisely. Oh. Oh. One last attempt. Can we get some points here or something? Oh, here you go. Okay, now I'll get to the end. No, don't hit it back, you idiot! One times 10 is 90 points, apparently. I'm not sure this game knows math. However, I don't think we're getting any further than stage 2. Stage is stupid. Anyway, that will probably do for tonight. So